Hi guys, I am back with the third layout for my Hey Little Magpie blog post for this month, and still working with the Prism collection from Basic Grey. I've done 2 other layouts so far, so do go back and look in my playlist if you haven't seen those already. So this layout I'm going to be scrapping 2 photos, and I decided to put these one above the other to kind of create like a little photo strip thing, because they were kind of like outtake photos of me and my boyfriend being a little bit silly. I have quite a lot of scraps and stuff on my desk at this point, because I had been doing, a fair sort of bit of cutting out of different papers. So I want to use this background paper. I absolutely love this background paper. I did buy a second sheet of this because I just love it so much. So at this point I'm kind of trying to just see how I can layer things up. I've added the black paper for outlining it, and that is actually the B-side of one of the pieces of paper, so I didn't have to go into my stash for that, and it really makes the photos pop against this background paper. I am end up going to inking everything in black as well, just to help everything pop. And it's while placing all this stuff down that I think, I think I need to go for a jaunty angle on this layout. So be prepared for a jaunty angle. So I am going to just fuss around here with some different bits and pieces I've got on my desk. I've got these sort of strips that I've cut off other pieces of paper, and so just here I'm starting to kind of think how I want it to look. And as these are kind of fun outtake photos, doing it at kind of like this funny angle just kind of goes with the kind of flow of the layout, and things looking a bit silly and that kind of stuff. And I really like how this ended up coming out. Again, I'm using some more of those printed branding strips and using those around the photo. And so I'm just looking at different bits and pieces that I've got here and can use. Here I'm just cutting off, again, one of those branding strips to put on there. And this is kind of where I start to kind of think how I want everything laid out. And this was a pretty quick layout to do. This took me just over half an hour, I think. But it's actually, just really good way of using up all my scraps and different things. So what I'm going to do is just going to cut the strip off this one, of course, and I'm going to add a little bit of ink, and I know I want some black ink in the background to make everything pop. So I just go for it and kind of make some kind of quite big dramatic sort of drips in the background. I'm not using my India ink or anything for that. I'm literally just using my matte black mist, and that's actually a Crafty Notions mist, which I think is a UK based company, and I've had that for absolutely ages, and it doesn't seem to go down, which is quite good. So I'm just going to edge everything in my Memento Tuxedo black ink, including the photos, because where I print them at home and cut them from an A4 sheet of paper, they had a kind of a white core edge showing. So I'm just going to go and ink all of these bits and pieces up, including these really thin strips, which were a little bit of a pain, but it was well worth doing. And as I said, most of these bits would have normally just gone in the bin, but I was being kind of quite frugal while doing these layouts and making sure I kind of made the most of all these little bits that, I'm quite good at using these bits anyway, but I think I was just kind of hyper aware that I wanted to kind of use as many of these beautiful patterns as I possibly could, so I'm just going to save them up where possible. So now we're going to get to the point where I go to lay it on the layer on the page, and it ends up looking nothing like how I originally had it laid out, but I am really happy with how it ends up looking. So again, I'm just looking through my sticker sheets here and seeing if I'm going to use any of those on. Did have to wait a little bit of time for the ink to dry on that, and I hadn't got my heat gun plugged in either, so that was a little bit annoying. So I've just put those photos down there, and so now I'm going to start building up on that background paper, and it's so pretty. I wanted to sort of not cover it too much because I wanted to kind of have as much showing as I possibly could. In sticking that piece of paper down, I realise it's going to cover up some of my more splodgier bits, so I am just going back with my ink and covering those up, so to make sure as much of that is showing as possible. While that's drying, I'm going through my tags and different pieces. I've got that banner piece there, which I love. Again, it's one of the craft printed tags, and I'm going through and just pulling out lots of bits that I might use. Of course, not all of these are going to end up on the layout, but I like this way of working where I kind of go through and pick everything. I'm not necessarily even thinking about colours at this point. I'm just picking them out and putting them in a pile. So I've kind of got a pile of embellishments ready to go, and then this bit is ready to go. It is still a little bit wet, so I am having to be a little bit mindful of that. Now I'm just going to start laying my papers down at that jaunty angle. And as you can see, kind of just laying that photo down, I did smudge a little bit of that black, but as I'm then going to stick my photo down here, again my glue getting clogged up. The ATG does mean I can kind of wiggle it around a little bit. I'm now going to just start building that clusters around it. And as I said, I didn't have it on this severe kind of jauntiness when I first started it, but I really like how it came out. Of course, I have those longer bits that I meant to tuck underneath, but didn't, so I end up just ripping those up so I can poke them underneath that photo. I do only normally put adhesive in the middle, so it's not too much of an issue, but yeah, I didn't really kind of do too much thinking ahead there. So again, this is one of the thinner strips that I was going to put the other way. I'm now kind of putting that across, and this really kind of leads your eye across the layout. And as I'm going to build like clusters along these bits, it ends up working pretty well actually. So again, just using a mixture of my wet glue and my ATG, depends how fiddly it is. And again, just sticking those layers in. And as I said, this is not a layout that I necessarily normally do. I don't normally do stuff at this jauntier angle, but you know, these photos really were just about us having fun. I'd had an absolutely awful, atrocious week at work. I mean, it was, you know, every so often we do have those days that come around which are absolutely awful. And this week had just been awful. Stuff going on with the kids and stuff, and it was, yeah, it's pretty terrible. So my boyfriend came down and we spent the weekend together. We don't often get to spend both days of the weekend together, but we did this day, and we just went out and we had a laugh and a joke, and we're making a few plans. We have a little trip that's possibly coming up, which is quite exciting. So when I know more about that, I'm sure I will share. But yes, I may be getting on a plane and travelling somewhere in the coming months, so that's quite exciting. So yeah, we were just in a generally kind of upbeat, happy mood, just having a laugh, and so I just wanted to kind of really record that, because even though, you know, I'd had a bad week, you know, there's always some kind of good in it. And this sticker, which came from the sticker pack, says, "You're the reason." I can't remember what it's called. My reason to smile, I think, or something like that along those lines. You're my reason to smile, or something. So I put that in it, and I really like how that kind of worked in pulling that cluster out to that side. And it also brought some pink in because the background had got very turquoise and mustard, and I do love that kind of mustardy. There's some mustard in this and also some lime green, so I really like those two colours together. Now I know I want to build a cluster there at the top, and I'm just kind of trying to work out how I'm going to get that to work. I really like this sort of bit at the bottom. It reminds me almost of like a signpost, because you've got that kind of flagged tag coming off there, and I'm going to put that other sort of flagged laugh piece there as well. So I really like how that looks. So I'm now going to just look at these other bits and pieces, and I've got this a couple of banner stickers and things that I want to use up there. And again, I'm kind of edging these in the black ink as well. I did have to trim one of them down so it would actually fit. And again, I just cut that little fishtail banner in there. And then tuck those stickers on. And I really love that top cluster. I will put some close-up photos at the end of this video, so you can see those clusters in more detail. I'm popping up a few of those bits on some 3D foam. That's just Stampin' Up 3D foam, just to give it a little bit of pop, because there isn't actually too much embellishment on here. So just adding that little bit of dimension helps things pop slightly. So I am having to lift that bottom layer up there just to tuck the sort of other bits of that banner up. I'm just kind of looking here if any of these other bits that I pulled out are going to work. If not, I'm just popping those back away. Looking through the sticker sheet here, and there's so many great stickers on here. So I'm just looking at if I want to pull out one of these little file tabs. I do end up adding that to the top. Don't necessarily always kind of think to put something on them, but this one I did end up adding the date to that. And again, because there's so many stickers on the sheets, you don't actually mind using them, because I know sometimes I kind of like hoard things thinking, oh no, I want to keep that. Same with these stickers, I'm kind of just going with it and using, getting as many bits and pieces used up as I can. I'm just going to put 2015 up here for the date. I'm putting that up top, and that really just brings that pop of green up there as well, which I really, really love that green colour. So that is this layout. It's really simple, just gluing those other bits down. So I hope you like it, and please do leave comments or questions below. I will leave a link to my blog post as well, so you can go and read that. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Bye!